Hey guys, welcome back to another live stream. How is everyone doing? Good morning. So today we are going to take a look at the markets, prepare the week ahead, do some analysis and look for some opportunities for next week. And I will also review what happened during this previous week. And I'll do some follow-up from my previous analysis. So usually we take a look at Forex mostly, and I always start with dollar index, because I always like to take a look at what's going on the major FX, and dollar index is a representation of that. And after that, then I followed with the euro dollar and maybe pound and some other cards that you may want me to take a look at. If you'd like me to take a look at any specific pair, please let me know in the comments. And also, or any crypto as well, like Bitcoin or Ethereum, anything in particular that you'd like me to take a look at, just let me know in the comment section. And yeah, basically that's going to be the main focus of this live stream. So usually I start with so let's take a look at dollar index and what happened since my last live stream last Tuesday. So let's go. So here we are now, and basically last week we opened the week around this level. 1 second. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so, and share as well, and like the stream. It helps as well to grow. And yeah, so I'm doing 2 live streams per week. If you haven't noticed, usually it's on Tuesday 6 p.m. and on Saturday around lunchtime. Let me know if you would like me to do at any other hour on Saturdays. And the main point is to help, is going to be educational content always, just to help the community to grow. So where we were last week, if you take a look at dollar index, basically I think we opened around this level. This is where we were last week. Yeah, 30 of May, yeah, something like that. And yeah, this was one of the predictions I did. So if we zoom out a little bit, to go to the 4-hour time frame. So if we zoom out, we have been trading basically within this this range in here, this space. It was something that I've been mentioning that I would like to see filled. Initially, I was expecting some kind of a deeper trace after the break of this low. This could be the first zone where that could have happened. It didn't really happen in that sense. We did respect this high. We did broke these highs, but then we carry on to move to the downside. We kind of had this trend line in here. We just broke now. I think something like that. We had this kind of trend line that we finally broke it in here during I think it was Tuesday that we finally broke this trend line. So it may be a good signal that price may want to reverse. And aside from that, so this was one of my predictions a couple of weeks ago, something like this for price to do, because I can see that there's still kind of fresh orders above this size somewhere in here, aligned with this size in here. And then I also mentioned that there's maybe some opportunity still above this highs in there for price to react from. It will also depend as well on the approach, how price is going to get to that level. So what we did have instead, so we did went to the upside. So this for me is an engulf already. So this break of this high in here, it's an engulf up. It doesn't mean that price will go there straight away. Price did still reacted from this kind of origin inside here, but never really managed to break any highs in this mid-range in here, in this mid-level. And what we did actually, it was price to carry on to the downside. I mentioned at the beginning of this week that I was really expecting price to reverse. Just by looking at how price opened last Monday. I mentioned also last week that I was really curious to see how price would open on Monday, to see if we would have some kind of compression to the downside. That would actually give me kind of a bias that I would expect some kind of reversals on Tuesday. And then there was still this demand zone in here. I think I mentioned that on my last stream on Tuesday. There was a beautiful demand in here. There was a double low there that price never touched it, so there was kind of this space here that was fresh, and that's exactly where the dollar index reacted from. After that, we did break out this level, we did break out this first high, maybe we had this smaller trend line in here aside from the other one that I just mentioned, and we did break that level, and now we after that we did move to the upside. So this was actually one of the drawings that I did. I don't know if this was last week or on Tuesday. So if I show you here, so basically this is what, no, this was on Tuesday already, my live stream during Tuesday, because we opened it here, we did this move. Then I kind of was expecting price to, because I saw this already as an engulf up, I saw this compression in here. This was still a supply that was fresh. Price did react from there. And after that, this was one of my two scenarios. So basically I had this scenario. It was the opposite that I did on euro-dollar. First scenario, it was price actually would respect this kind of demand zone in here and then break it to the upside, leaving this one still fresh for the future. And then maybe this scenario could happen. Price could go and fake out at least this low, and something like that could happen. We did had this move. How this move happened so far. Price then, after the retrace yesterday, it did react somewhere from here. I think it broke this low already. And we did react somewhere from still inside this demand, somewhere in here to the upside. This was during NFP yesterday. Something that I also mentioned. Actually, I even adjusted a little bit during my prediction. It was I could see this supply zone in here, and actually, as a confirmation maybe for price that price wanted to go higher. I didn't want price to actually respect this level in here and go down. Maybe just take this high in here. This was price in supply. I actually would like to see price breaking slightly above the supply zone that maybe we had in here. And if we actually do that, it kind of gives me a little bit indication that price may want to go higher, either from these lows or even from a little bit the lows underneath, and then eventually price will reverse. So this was a little bit of my prediction. Why I was expecting this to go higher, because for me this is already an engulf up. While price is going down, price just needs to find a better zone to react from, and then most likely price will no longer be respected in here. It was respected on way down, so don't expect it to be actually for this one to hold price down, or at least it can hold it. Price can still react from there, but don't actually expect price to go and break new lows when price is already returning to the upside after reacting from the lows on the left side. Yeah, so this was an engulf up. Next zone, it was definitely around this SR zone with this supply zone. So this was the prediction I did the other day. I explained that on the other stream, and this is literally what happened. So this is basically what we had in here. If I zoom in a little bit, so price was here when I did that prediction, and price it may broke it. It may have broke the supply exactly, or it respected to the pip, which makes it a little bit. Yeah, we kind of need to. Let me just take a look. Actually, just take a look. So this high is. Where's the highs in this? 102.734, 102.734. 102.731. So it didn't really broke this one. The one I'm considering is from here to here, is this last high in here, from this candle. I'm kind of considering that one in there, and price, I think it was 3 pips below that, so it didn't really broke it. Or it did. Like, it's a little bit tricky when it's so close. It may be a little bit tricky. Maybe we could choose just this high in here. So let's see what is going to happen next. The prediction that I could see now, or what I could anticipate now for the next week. So I still want to see, I really would like to see this low in here being taken. I would really like to see this one. We didn't took that one. We kind of have this compression in here. After the break, the price went higher. It reacted somewhere in here, maybe from the base of this level. Not even there. But yeah, I would have liked to see price taking this move and give me more confirmation that price was actually wanted to now ready to go higher, because we kind of didn't took the orders from this low and kind of am a little bit closer to this demand zone that may be in there. It's a little bit tricky for me in terms of what to expect. It's a little bit trickier. Let's see what our index is going to do. I really would like to see this low being taken. Doesn't even need to touch the demand. Of course, I would prefer that, but it can just kind of take out the demand for a bit and then carry on to the upside. Maybe this one is a combination of lows that can then be used again for more liquidity. Price to then carry on higher. This could be one option. Maybe let's just wait for price to take this size, give an indication that it wants to go higher. And maybe after that, yeah, maybe after that we have this move. Let's see. This could be a few scenarios that could happen. And also, as I've been mentioning quite a few times, I still see this level in here as kind of the final target, at least to touch somehow this level in here. Maybe do have this decision point in there, but at least somewhere in here, I'd like to see that being touched as a final target for the shorts, which hasn't been done yet. So this low hasn't touched that zone yet. So I still expect price to go down. However, it doesn't need to be from here. We can actually just we can have maybe that deeper trace that I mentioned before, and that I was expecting kind of in here. And after that, maybe we do have that price coming all the way here. Another situation is actually price. Maybe this was already moved up. This supply, we have it in here. Right, price can maybe now react from here, go down. Go down, maybe some kind of compression, and then maybe it will go higher from here. This one can work maybe as an engulf. It's like, looks like it reacts from a good zone. We'll see. This could happen as well. Yeah, this could be a scenario as well to go long. Not price to respect from this level. Actually, maybe use this level for the future as a left shoulder to then price use it to go long. Let's see what the index is going to do. Another reason that I am kind of a little bit tricky. So, as I mentioned, we didn't really touch that level in here, right? Not touch, but we didn't really even broke this last one that I would have really liked to see taken. It's a little bit similar to what we had on euro-dollar. But before I go to euro-dollar, so as a conclusion, in here, it's basically we are still within this bigger range that I've been talking about. Last week I even mentioned if eventually price is ready to break out this zone, there's maybe this level, or even then after this triple bottom, there's maybe something interesting somewhere in here for price to react from. So pay attention to these levels, the combination of lows or highs on the opposite side, in this case lows, and pay attention for them. They are full of liquidity underneath those zones, so it's quite nice to see it. or the end of this compression as well. Maybe there's some kind of decision point in here, align without this structure. The price can just use it to reverse. So yeah, let's see dollar index. I'll be looking for the break of this level, possible fake out to go to the upside. If not in this low, maybe underneath a little bit. Somewhere in here could be an option, kind of. And if price actually is ready to go all the way up, of course, you can start using this previous level of support resistance to look for some bounces, and price may actually is going to move all the way up. And now this is kind of compressed, so maybe price is ready to go all the way up, pick out this high, and take the orders from here, reverse. But I would actually love for price to go here in the end, take that one and reverse. So this would have been amazing. This could happen. So now if we take a look at euro dollar, let's take a look. So based on this information, what can we get from euro dollar? Second. Okay, so euro dollar now. So what do we have in here? So this was another one that I've been kind of active on social media to talk about. Euro dollar. By the way, if you have any questions, if you're watching, just please let me know. You can comment on the chat. And if you're watching this afterwards, comment as well. I'll take a look at it and I will follow up with the answer during the next live stream. So yeah, the main purpose of these live streams is to try to help and to kind of create a special kind of a conversation, a dialogue between me and all of you. So euro dollar, what do they see in here? So basically from last week as well, if one second, let me just check this one in here. So this is what I had in here, euro dollar, right? I kind of had this red scenario or the green one. I mentioned, I think it was on Tuesday, especially after, so Monday, I would go there in Monday in a bit, but yeah, on Tuesday we had also broken this low, so I was expecting price to go further down up until at least this yellow line or even further below, because this for me is similar to what happened on dollar index. This was already an engulf down for me, price wants to go further down, and then we had still this zone above these highs that was still fresh with orders, or price could actually first respect the supply zone. It's the same thing that he did with the demand on dollar index and go down, and maybe just in the future it will go there and collect it. So this was what I saw on euro dollar. So now if we take a look at it, basically this is what happened. So price did respect this zone in here, right? So price did respect this supply. There was maybe some opportunities even to get short somewhere in here after the break of this low. Basically all this is compressed. There was still maybe this demand in here, that's why price actually reacted from there. But the decision was, the space was to fill all this zone in here, and even more than that, because we already had this engulf to the downside. So don't really expect price when it's coming back down to actually this low to hold price. This low is really nice to hold price immediately after we have this fake out, kind of use this engulf as a fake out in the first instance. So we have this break of a low, actually have then a break of a high on the lower scale, so this can be a really good opportunity to go long, fill all this price at least until here. But in the future, don't really expect this level to be respected. Actually look for maybe something else. We did have this demand zone in here, and there's a decision point a little bit aligned with these previous highs in here. basically actually where price eventually reacted from. We did have this left shoulder in here, fake out. So there is some decision point somewhere within these weeks, and that's exactly where price reacted from. However, one thing that then we can actually consider is this low now an engulf down, or is this just now reacting from a good zone, and maybe price, even though has already reacted from here, but maybe we are not going to actually have a new low and price will eventually just continue to move to the upside? Or is the target actually this demand zone that price should have reacted from there, but it didn't? So we actually still have space to react now from this level in here, this demand zone, and that's actually, and this is actually kind of the, at least one of the targets that price still wants to go before any resume to the upside. So this is some questions that we need to ask anytime you are seeing and reading price action in the bigger picture. Take a look at where the low has reacted from, where this high is reacting from, and try to make your own conclusions, because it's going to help you then to decide if any reaction from here, we still could expect a reaction from here. However, should we just expect something like this, react next on kind of and get into the upside, or should we actually see this one as a good opportunity to get short and ride the move all the way down? So what is this low about? Is this an engulf or not? For example, this for me is quite clear. It was an engulf, so I kind of could see price leaving it without this price. This one is we are kind of reacting from this previous level, which is kind of an important zone. It can be a little bit more dubious. However, I really think that eventually price wants to come at least all the way down and respect its demand. So that can be an option of price filling out this price again. So, but this is what we had last week. We did open somewhere in here, and I started tweeting on Monday. I actually sent a tweet saying it was a great compression day on Monday, so I'm really expecting for the reversal on Tuesday. So yeah, you can see that basically price opened. I think I already mentioned this in the previous stream, compression, and then we have the turn. This happened during the Asian session. No chance for me to get short in there. Just to have a little bit of a view on the higher time frame, I've been mentioning in the last weeks, couple of weeks already since I started doing this weekly forecast, that we are reacting from this important zone of previous support and resistance, and that's exactly where price reacted from. I think price saw somewhere in here when I mentioned this zone as a really nice zone for price to bounce from. So okay, that was just the bigger picture in there. And now we had this. So after price created this low, I actually sent another tweet because price just reacted from here, left these orders in here fresh still, and actually mentioned, okay, what if now price just reverses completely from these lows, and during the NFP goes up and collects the orders from that were left behind, right? So the orders above this size and kind of close to this supply zone in here. Basically the orders closer to this high. That's basically what we had in here. So price on Thursday, it went all the way up, and then it kind of opened somewhere in here last Friday, yesterday, and we had this shift during the Asian session, and then we had a great opportunity to go short. I actually shorted in here. However, I did a mistake with my short, because a little bit similar to dollar index, I really wanted to see price getting a little bit closer to this supply level. It kind of just reacted from this KM. So basically you had this big KM zone in here, this left shoulder kind of reacting from there as well. So basically we have this zone in here, right? And the pattern is kind of this, right? We have a KM left shoulder, a low, a high. We actually have a low that breaks this low in here, and price goes all the way back. We still have space within this level, so it was a good zone to look for the short. And now as I mentioned before, let's see if price actually is going to go all the way down and break this low, or if it's going to just in between somewhere in here and it's going to carry on to the upside. One particular thing that I actually like to see on during the KM zones, when a KM is being created, and the ones that I like to trade, is actually to see from this left shoulder, I like to see this zone breaking already an important low, and this is exactly what happened in here. So from here to here, we did break this low, so this gives me a little bit more strength towards that left shoulder. Also then, of course, where this high, as I've been mentioning before, where actually this high reacts to on the left side, and then of course this one as well, just towards to understand how big of a move can we have from there. And then of course the approach. So, and the approach that we had, it was something like this. So yesterday's trade that I took on euro dollar, it was this one. So if you go even to the lower time frame, so basically this is the zone that I would like price still to react from, and this was my mistake. Right, somewhere in here. And price didn't really got there. That was something that I actually was kind of predicting or expecting, and that was my bias, and that's why I did the mistake, because I trade my bias and not exactly what price was doing. I saw this break of the low. It was a great confirmation that price went to go down. Not just that, this low even in here, it even broke the next one. I think this one in here actually went a little bit below that one, which is kind of nice. And then we had all this compression in here, all this move in there, and this is where I enter short somewhere in here. But my prediction was, okay, so we have this, I could see these lows in here, and I kind of wanted to see these lows being broken. And then during the NFP, so London session, I wanted to see price respecting this pattern, price going down, actually given engulf down, right, after the break of kind of these lows, not just these ones, but now these ones. It could kind of open space for price to move further down, maybe until somewhere, yeah, maybe this level of structure in here. We have all these highs all created in there. But what I wanted to see is actually price going higher, and now yes, faking out this double top in there. Now yes, reacting kind of from this supply zone that was there, still fresh behind, and after that to move down. Because I was expecting this, I did close my trade quite early. Somewhere in here, I think I did close my short from here to here. And yeah, I didn't really had any price action to tell me that price didn't want to continue to move to the downside. It was literally just because of my bias of expecting still during the NFP for price to go there, and that's why I close it. That was a mistake. Trade the chart, don't trade entirely a bias. It's good to have a bias, but then wait for price to confirm what you are looking at. Because this was a really nice zone. Look for some kind of resistance in here after price kind of breaks these lows, because we did have this previous support resistance zone. We did have this green supply in here, and that's exactly where price reacted from. And yeah, and then I could have had a much bigger winner instead of just this trade from here to here. So what's next for euro for the week ahead? Let's just take a look at bigger picture. So yeah, I still like this zone above. I still think there are orders in there, and that's something that's going to make me a little bit of cautious of expecting price to go all the way down there. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe price actually kind of, okay, goes maybe a little bit further down, or even reverses somehow, and then yes, and then goes and takes this order. Maybe this highs in here is just to accumulate even more liquidity towards that zone, and then price is ready to reverse. This could be an option. This could actually be an option, because this retrace towards this level, it was too aggressive. We didn't really have any kind of compression on the way up. It was way too aggressive. So maybe there was not enough chance for price to fill out their orders or for orders to change hands while price was going up. So maybe now we're going to create some kind of more price action within this level, somewhere inside here, until maybe we have that final turn with price finally collecting the orders from this origin inside here. That could be one option. I actually like it. And this maybe would confirm that, okay, this is an engulf. This is price wanting to go further down. So yeah, I kind of like actually this possible setup on Euro. Just taking a screenshot. So yeah, I do like that. This may happen then. It's the same as dollar index going and taking those lows that I mentioned before. That could happen actually. Just one thing as well on euro dollar. Okay, I've been mentioning, and I do like, and I was expecting price to react from around this level with all those support resistance zones on the left side. However, personally, I'm not a big fan of where price is reacting here. So eventually, I wouldn't be surprised if actually euro dollar actually is going to just move higher from it. Because I don't really like anything in here as a zone for price to actually bounce from there and go all the way to the downside. I really don't like this one as much. Okay, it has been really reacting from there quite nicely. It was expected. But as price starts to get many touches somewhere in here, maybe I will just eventually ignore all this level and just look for orders a little bit above it. I've been mentioned, I think, a few times, or last week as well. Eventually, I'll be looking for price to go all the way and react from here and to fake out all these highs in there. That's a zone that I like it, and the zone that in the future I'll be looking for. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen on euro dollar. Yeah, I will still, when price retraces to the upside, I will still be looking around these areas to for a possible short. So yeah, so this is basically the bias in terms of longs. Of course, as I mentioned, we did have this demand kind of not in this 4-hour time frame. You can see this kind of a decision point in here to break out these highs. We did ahead of this previous level of resistance that can help now as a support. So this level is kind of interesting to look at. And this level didn't really got there, so there's still space as well. And that will be kind of a zone to maybe start looking for longs eventually if price comes all the way down in here. So let's see what's going to happen. So this level, and eventually something can happen as well is break out this. Somewhere in here, there's maybe some orders to look for sales, at least for a day trade opportunity, and then eventually I'll be looking for somewhere in there. We did have this man in here. Yeah, we'll see. We do have this left shoulder. Yep, I do like this one. Yeah. Okay, so this is euro dollar. We move on. We look at pound dollar now. So what we have in here, pound dollar, again, as I mentioned last week, or actually 2 weeks ago, we did have this compression in there. Price did open in here, and we broke it again during the Asian session. That's when we had this strong candle to the downside. I mentioned as well that this would be a really great zone to fake out. I think 2 weeks ago when I mentioned it, we did have this beautiful supply there aligned with the previous important low. So that's exactly where price reacted from after the break of this high on the daily scale. After that, price did break down, This could be kind of maybe the first zone to fill, with the possibility of even eventually breaking out this level and even maybe retest now this zone in here. So this maybe can be a good target to look for. Let's see how price behaves. Similar to euro, and this is where then, even though prices may start looking a little bit correlated, they may react from different zones in the future. So euro did react from these lows that I mentioned, kind of a supply. Pound did the same. We did respect this zone in there, and we moved down. So this was last Wednesday or Tuesday, something like that, when it did this move down, and then we did head the retrace. Euro eventually went all the way there. It faked out these highs, but pound just stayed within this supply that was created in here. So still the same, move down, retrace, however, two different levels that price respected. Euro went all the way up, already took these orders above these highs. Pound is still respecting the supply and is already close to the lows. Euro is a little bit far away from the lows that created after the drop. Okay, so you can see similar moves, however, respecting different zones, reacting from different zones. And sometimes this is where, even though price may be moving in similar directions, kind of correlated, however, you can filter by taking it by filtering. For example, now I do like to trade around supply zones, so this kind of could be your pair to trade from, this pound dollar. However, if for example you want to see actually this high has been taken, so that will be kind of the opportunity to look for the setup on euro and not on pound. This is something that you can pay attention to. So what we did had in here, beautiful reaction from this one, and we did had another quasi-model level inside here. Yeah, we did that quasi-model in there, and I'll show you another interesting thing about the pound. For example, if you have watched one of my videos before, the one that I've talked about the importance of higher time frame and what kind of information you can gather from doing higher time frame analysis, basically what you can do in here, the importance of setting up alerts for the week ahead, looking at bigger picture, trying to find the best zones to look for setups, let price get to the zones that we want, instead of us following price blindly and reacting to everything that price does. And in the end of that video, I actually talk about a specific setup that I used to trade. I haven't traded for quite a long time. Even Trading Box asked me recently, however, I have been doing with that kind of strategy or specific setup, and I finally tried it last Thursday, which was after. So the setup is basically after we have a strong trending day, a strong move during the full day. So last Thursday we did had that strong reaction. You can see basically this candle in here, this bull candle in there. That was the candle that I traded. So basically price opened and it went all the way up, right? And the kind of the setup that I mentioned is look for that opportunity by the end of the trading day. Look for price to start showing some weaknesses, and maybe we're going to have some bounce from some retrace by the end of the day. Maybe people are going to close their profits for the day, something like that, or price will just eventually retrace and show and kind of lose some momentum by the end of the session. And that's exactly what I was looking for after seeing such a strong day across all the major FX pairs, euro dollar, Aussie dollar, pound dollar, and so on and so forth. I could also see that dollar index was kind of reacting from one of that back to that demand zone after the move down, and this is what I was looking for, and this is what I traded in here. By the end of the trading session, I could see that price was getting really close to this demand zone this supply zone that I just showed. So price was already reacting from there in here. So this level in here, this is what I saw it. But before that, this is what also I paid attention to, that got my attention for to for this trade. So basically I saw that we had this engulf down, and it opened kind of this space towards the downside, at least up until this demand zone, or even closer to this SR zone. Price never really got there. So I noticed this one, and then I just start paying attention how price will behave. I did notice price going up again. We did broke a new high, got close to that level that I mentioned. Price came down, took this demand zone. Okay, it showed some weakness, and then what started even paying more attention, it was this compression zone in here. So we start seeing some weakness, and this was the trigger, kind of. And I saw this candle like this. You can see how this trigger like that. As soon as we had this close to the downside, as soon as I saw this wall being broken, I just opened the trade there, kind of a sell stop order to catch this move to the downside with the target around in here. This was the end of the day trade that I traded. Stop loss around here and the trade somewhere in there. Basically, that was the trade. If I show it in a second. So this was the euro-dollar trade before. Right, as soon as I saw this was being broken, that's where I close it, expecting price to go up, and then fake out the highs, touch the supply and go down. That never happened. Mistake by my side. I shouldn't never have closed this last part of the position. First target was in there, okay, we test out these lows. Second part of the position, I should have just kept it open. And this was the pound dollar trade. As you can see, I did saw this space in here, and after the break of this, basically I placed a sell limit, not a sell limit, a sell stop, and that's it. Price went all the way down, retested this demand zone, and I'm out of the trade. I'm not expecting too much from this setup. It's just a quick trade, end of the session, and that's it. Another 2 to 1 or something like that, a little bit more than that, and I'm out of the trade, and I move on. So yeah, there you go. This is an example of that strategy that I mentioned before. It doesn't happen that often. It needs to be in specific days of full trend market, and find that space, start to seeing that weakness, and that's it. And not every pair offered that possibility. This one found it was one that offered. There was another one on pound yen. In this case, I actually missed the trade. Where was it? Missed the entry actually in here. Saw some weakness in as well. I think I saw this one. No, it was not there. Don't remember now where it was, but I missed the entry by a couple of pips. So I saw actually both of them, both of the GBP pairs working quite nicely. And then, yes, price eventually, yesterday, it reacted from the supply zone. And it did had this kind of beautiful KM. This could have been a great opportunity to look for sales yesterday, because we did broke this low. Right, as you can see, we did broke this level. We did have now already this kind of move in here. So another break of a in there, fake out. So the fake out already happened in here. So in this case, you can just trade this left shoulder, or even pay attention to that one. But yeah, just trade this left shoulder and you are ready to go. So in this case, this KM is kind of created on the right side of the higher high already. We do kind of have another in here. So this is actually a really great example. I'm going to go deep a little bit more. 1 second. This one never really touched it. But when I see this when I see the fake out, and when I notice this accumulation of highs, kind of two things can happen. Either price immediately respects this level and goes down. And if price just does this, then in the future, during this move, I am expecting the fake out of the highs. So in this case, this highs doesn't happen. This doesn't exist in here. This one stayed underneath this white line. So when price retraces from here after the break of this low, right? We do break this low. Price wants to go further down. And in here, I'm expecting price to fake out these highs, right? Because we hadn't done that yet. So we would have kind of all the highs still within here, fake out, and then price can go down. And that actually then you kind of can use these left shoulders in here to look for a second entry. Basically what I mean is, okay, you have this left shoulder, which is kind of this one. Price goes higher, it has a fake out, this one. And now when it goes down, it kind of accumulates these highs in here. Even break this one in here. Let's create another low. And now yes, we have all these highs in here. And then price can go up. In here, I'm expecting the fake out, right? This is what I mean. I'm expecting this case the fake out, and then we can even trade straight away this left shoulder. Take the orders from here. This is basically one of my entries. You can either trade the fake out, or you can then catch the left shoulder, and you are ready to go down. All right, let's pretend that this broke some lows in here, and that even this low also broke some other lows somewhere in here. Basically, we did open space for price to go down. So this is one of the scenarios. But the second setup, the second thing that you can see is actually when price is creating this scenario in here, we have this fake out happening in here, right? So in this case, we're going to have this fake out already. So if this happens, then after price breaks this low, now I'm not expecting now this high in here to fake out these levels, but to just collect the left shoulders orders that were from there, right? Forget about fake out, just react from there, take these left shoulders, which is exactly what happened. No need to fake out again this high. Price is just free to go down. So this is just a small difference. Pay attention if we do have the fake out in here or not of these highs. If you don't expect fake out from these guys, if you do have the fake out in here, you can just look for the trade still underneath this high. Pay attention to the left shoulders from these guys, and we are free to go to the downside. Right, so this is just a small tip for all of you, how to look for opportunities when price is actually creating and showing this reversal setup. Yeah, great. So this was the setup. It would have been a great opportunity to look for sales in there. I actually didn't trade this one. I was focused on euro-dollar. I didn't really pay too much attention on the pound. And yeah, then after that we do have this break of the lows, open space to go all the way down, bring NFP, pressure traces, collect some orders in here, and then there you go, it just went down, and now we are retesting these lows again. So what can we expect next? What's the game plan now for pound? Just give me a second. So I'm actually expecting pound to go further down. There's maybe some orders in here. I can't see, because we did broke this low. We kind of entered within this compression zone. I'm expecting price actually to break out this level and to continue down. Price did respect that zone. this one now is kind of used. It's going to kind of be being used just in the future, but if price actually goes all the way down, whatever, eventually when price retraces here, I'm not expecting this level to make all this move down. Maybe I'm just going to have some reaction from there, maybe now react from this kind of previous level of resistance that we have in there. It's going to work as support, and then eventually price is going to break this level. Or price is not going to even have such a deep retrace. It will just have some reaction from whatever demand we have in here or previous of support resistance that we're going to have in there, and just carry on to the upside, and then maybe it's going to be used opposite way. It's going to look for be used as a long instead of used as a short. Yeah, all this in case that actually pound goes now all the way down, and either as this deep retrace, either reacting from there or from here, kind of zones that are still fresh. So this was never picked up those orders, this one's either, and eventually this origin is still fresh as well. That's why I have this alert in there. Let me just set up this one as well. Yeah, set up this as white. So yeah, so this is the pound dollar view. So as I mentioned, I was expecting a deep retrace after the break of this high. We are having that deep retracement. Let's see how it's going to open next week. But I'm actually expecting for price to just break this level. Price will react respected really nicely this supply zone. We do have now this demand, but I could see price going further down. Price didn't really enter into this compression. We kind of respected it quite nicely. If he did that broken into this compression, there's maybe expectancy that price then would at least feel it. Didn't really do that, so I could see price just going down from there. Pay attention to this now. Level in here, it looks like it may be important. Somewhere in here, maybe go even further down into a lower time frame to find it. Let me just check the daily first. On the daily, it's not even that interesting. How is the weekly candle? Okay. Yeah, let's see. Let's see how price reacts somewhere in there, and eventually it's going to go all the way there for the future. So yeah, let's see. We do have this supply zone. Let's see what pound is going to do. So you have those buyers. I really expect price to take all this and carry on to the downside. So yeah, that's that. That's it for pound. Aussie dollar. This is another prediction that I did. So we did had this fake out on Tuesday, anticipated this kind of fake out above all these highs. It was quite nice. However, similar to pound. So can you see this zone? Can you see this high? That it actually broke this high in here. I think I mentioned that before. I was already expecting eventually price to go and fake out this high on the way up. It doesn't mean that it's because I'm expecting this, it doesn't mean that I'm not expecting some kind of reaction close to these levels. Okay, there's still an opportunity to maybe look for any sell in here. Just manage your expectations. Don't expect, when I mean that I expect price to break there, I'm not, what I mean by that is I'm not expecting price to react from here and go all the way down. I'm expecting price to react from here and react maybe from the most recent kind of level of structure and carry on to the upside and finally break this high. So this high is really similar to what we had on pound dollar in here. So similar to this one, we did broke this kind of zone that was holding price down. There's an engulf there. Eventually in the future, just expect it to break higher after price kind of reacts from a good zone on the left side. Just expect it to be broken. I call this the engulf up on the way down. we did still reacted from here, similar, not as a strong reaction on Aussie dollar, but we did still reacted from there. Price reacted exactly from the next demand zone or from the next level of structure, compressed, and eventually now we do have this deep retrace in here. So this was on pound, Aussie, kind of similarly. I can see this one now as an engulf down. Let me just clean the rest of the chart 1 second. Is this anything interesting? I don't know if this is anything interesting for price to react from, but it did react from there. Maybe on the time frame there's something in there. But what I want to see actually is we did broke these lows. We do have this demand zone. Let's see if price actually reacts from there. Price actually can react from here and go higher. And just because I'm not sure if this is kind of the final target for this move. However, similar to Aussie, similar to pound, after such an important high being faked out, and because we haven't really had any major deeper trace on during all this move up, right? We didn't really had any big deep retracement for the end price to continue to the upside. Maybe now we can have that. So just pay attention how price is going to kind of react from around this demand. But maybe we do have the opportunity for price to actually at least go below this low. We kind of have all this compression in here and maybe expect some reaction from this next level in here. This could be an option for price to bounce from, this kind of space in there. So this could be some kind of an option. Break it, compressed, something like this could happen. And if this actually breaks, there's maybe something still in there, or then eventually price is just going to go to the next zone in there, collect orders, or of course this next level could also be a possibility for price to eventually go and fill. So something that we also sometimes happen is after such an important break of a high, we do see price going down, break out this kind of lows that kind of created the break of this high, and just tend to resume the move to the upside. So now that I'm actually thinking in that aspect, this could be a good zone to be faked out, then maybe use this one as a left shoulder for the future, and then maybe in the future this could be a good zone for price to eventually go down, bounce from, and resume the move to the upside. So this could be an option for Aussie until maybe we fill out this space somewhere in here. Okay, this one, don't be confused, this one is a clear engulf to the upside. Price wants to go higher, just it may just fake out this one because we did broke these lows before that. So this could be the next zone and price can do that. Yeah, so we did open a new door for price to go higher. Hi Trading Box, how are you? Welcome back to the stream. Is there any specific pair that you want me to take a look at? Just let me know. But yeah, this kind of movement after the break of such an important high, usually see that reacting. Of course, pay attention to what price does even before the break of the high to give you the clues where price wants to go next. This basically opened the door for price to go further down. However, this had already opened the door that price wants to go higher above this level. So we do have that fake out. We do now can easily fake out these lows, react from the next level of support resistance, kind of in here with this demand, and we can go higher from after that, which is going to create confusion about for everyone. They see the break of this high, everyone is bullish, everyone's going to be buying at around this demand zone, and after they see this demand zone being broken, everyone's going to be looking for sales, maybe just the retest of this and carry on to the downside, and price can easily just reverse again and maybe continue to go higher. Of course, aside from that, there is the option of we actually have a deeper trace, and instead of price just reacting from there and continue to the upside, we may have price breaking these lows, maybe having a little bit of deeper trace, so actually just respecting this level and going down, but maybe a little bit of a deeper trace, and then a deeper trace to the downside. If price 2 breaks out this level, this may be all compressed all the way until down. So let's see if price respects this level. If this actually is broken, there's maybe the possibility that price is going to eventually refill all this zone, and that actually, let me draw this scenario. No, no, not yet. I haven't had a look at that one yet. I'll take a look. I'll take a look in a bit. Dollar franc Swiss. So, second scenario. For me, this is a clear engulf to the upside. This was an engulf to the downside. First scenario is fake out this level and go higher. This kind of is compressed. So we can, okay, price can even retrace from there, take the orders from the supply, this left shoulder, and go down. This is one option. But let's pretend that whatever that is going to be done. Okay, so we do break now these lows. Don't forget that we have kind of a KM zone in here, because this one is a Quasimodo. We have a left shoulder, right? We have a higher high, a lower low with this fake out, and a higher high in here. So we kind of should expect price to do this. However, I'm not expecting that actually. So what I'm expecting is that maybe this level, this left shoulder that we have in here, is going to be used in the future, but on the opposite side as a sell. How can you make that happen? You can just easily break this level. Let price respect from there. I really expect price to respect somehow from there. Let's create some fake out in here. Let's maybe respect this previous support zone that may be created around this demand zone. Price now respects it, goes down, leaves some fresh orders aligned with this left shoulder for the future, goes down. Now, yeah, it collects it and it goes down from there. We do enter into this compression zone with this break, and now price kind of is free to go all the way down, go fill out this compression zone. So this could be an option as well to look for the sell. Take a look at the zones that should have respected price and it didn't. Usually those zones are quite nice for price to respect in the future, to be respected in the future, but in the opposite way. But this could be one option, and of course then let's pretend that price actually wants to go higher. So let's just now kind of take out of this level. And go. Not even sure if this zone is anything important on the left side, but this could be an option. Now let's see. But I'm not expecting that per trace. I'm expecting more of the other scenario. Let's be mindful of both of them. And yeah, just play along with whatever price is doing. Pay attention to what price is doing and adjust your analysis. Screenshot of this. And let's take a look at our franc Swiss. So dollar franc Swiss. Dollar franc Swiss for me it has been almost haven't paid attention to it since I missed the sell in here. I was kind of expecting some kind of a deeper trace. I think I mentioned before, this one was a really nice zone to look for sell in there. Aside from that, we did have all this big compression, and I don't even know why I have this high in here. I prefer to have this one in here. Yeah. Just looking at the bigger picture, I saw all this lows in here, and I just didn't like them. I could see this beautiful origin in there, definitely, and even though this may have been opening of the week, and I can see this beautiful decision origin in there, this KM zone. I can see that reacting from there. This was never collect the order from there, so it was quite nice. We did had another move to the upside, and then this beautiful move. We broke this highs, which is something that I like to see as well. So kind of breaking these highs, breaking the highs even before the last fake out towards to collect the orders from the origin. That's actually a really nice kind of price action to have. So yeah, I can see this happening. However, I don't really like anything like this. It's too many kind of weird candles around the closing, and it's too many lows close to each other. So I would actually just prefer to see all these being taken and price eventually to go a little bit farther down. We do have this higher time frame support resistance zone in there, and somehow I was looking at as well at this zone, as we do have all this compression in here, and price never really took that the orders from there. I think maybe did. We have this weekend here. So did you look for the longs or a buy? Yeah, you said a buy. Where exactly were you looking for the longs? Was it at this zone in here, close to the walls, or where was it? Yeah, after that, strong move up. Yeah, strong move up. Yeah, the KM zone, right? Yeah, that was kind of obvious. However, this was opening. Yeah, this was created during the close of the session. So super weird. We did had all these lows to be faked out. So it does make sense. We did break out these highs, which is already a great signal that price want to go higher. So it's amazing to see highs being broken before the price actually goes and collects the orders from the origin. This is a great piece of price action that we have in here. Even this one as well, another break of a high in there. And we did had these highs in there. But yeah. All this is beautiful in terms of KM zone and so on and so forth. However, I just don't like all these candles in here. So I've been just waiting. I've been just observing the franc Swiss, not even trading specifically this pair. Since we did react in reverse from there, that I basically have just been a spectator on dollar franc Swiss. Maybe in here it would have been a good zone. Price never came all the way back in here to maybe take orders from there. That would be the second trigger for my sell. So yeah, we'll see now. Is price going to break to the upside? Maybe it's finally going to follow our index and go higher. Where to? We do have this zone in here. Maybe this could be a good target if you are long, above this high, somewhere in there. Yeah, this maybe could be a good target above this one. Maybe. Yeah, that was it. CAD, what's going on with CAD? CAD. So CAD as well. Last Tuesday when I made the video, I did saw this kind of demand zone in there. It did reacted from there during the interest rate decision. Big spike in there. It never really broke this high now. So this one is still reacting. It's kind of a KM zone in there. EM level still respected it. And this compression actually yesterday was kind of a good zone too for long. After the break of this, the test of this level, look for long. Is CAD ready to reverse all this compression as well? It's super weird. But maybe it's about time for CAD to expand a little bit. Nice zone in there. Yeah, let's see. Again, it's not the clearest price actions that you can see in here. So yeah, let's see. We do have all this accumulation of highs. Maybe something in there can be a good zone. Price did reacted from there. We do have still this deep supply zone in there without these left shoulders. Is this zone still going to hold price one more time? Let's see. Let's see if this is going to happen or not. We did have this KM to the upside, fake out of these lows, fake out of these lows. And yeah, let's see what's going to happen. Of course, all these highs as well, somewhere in here could be a good zone to look for. And short. But yeah, it's not the clearest one. Honestly, I wouldn't consider this one as the final target of the sellers. However, they can easily just now have some kind of a deeper retrace to the upside, either respect its zone or just kind of react from here eventually before going and maybe fill out the zone in there. That could be an option. That could be an option. Dollar yen. Dollar yen. Right. I've been mentioning as well. Nice reaction now from this previous support and resistance zone. From there, it did broke out this level and now retrace. Touch it. I don't really think this is the final target where we reacted from there. There's a possibility of price actually breaking now these highs again. And there's maybe something in here closer to the origin where price wants to react from. Don't forget, this is a weekly chart. And this is back in 2002. Even the break of this one could be nice. Even the break of this one could be really nice. Look for sell somewhere in here, could be a really nice zone. And maybe you're going to have a big retrace after we break this last week in there. Oh yeah, this one, it will be nice after the break of this compression zone. It's been holding price down since ever. It's really good. Around 140, 139, 140 level. Price never took the orders from this candle in here. Of course, we are looking at the weekly candle. Let me see, check on the monthly. Oh yeah, we have this week. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. Wait for price to react from there. I don't know when it's going to happen, but when it does, I'll be waiting for it. Actually going to set up an alert already. Yep, alert for the future. Maybe in 6 months time or whatever. We'll see. But yeah, because I don't really think that price had reacted from the target, I could expect price actually to just break out this structure. This can kind of be considered as a break to the downside, an engulf. Maybe. Is this a KM zone as well? When it matters to pay attention to actually where the highs are reacting from, like where this actually reacted from. I can see some spice in here, so I wouldn't be surprised if I see some reaction kind of within this area. Until where that is the question. Maybe just somewhere in here. We did head out this big retrace to the upside, break again, respect the next demand zone. So this was a kind of a good zone to react from without this kind of spikes in here. Price goes higher. I haven't seen a proper engulf to the downside. Something that I like to see on approach is actually kind of an engulf, a break to the downside, then maybe to start showing some space that needs to be filled before then price actually gets to the zone that I want to short. I haven't seen that yet. Yep, I haven't definitely seen that yet. So dollar yen still needs to do some work for me to even consider any short close to this highs. Otherwise, I'll just be waiting for the highs to be broken, and that's it, basically. Let's see how price reacts from there. If by any chance starts creating some kind of double top in here, some compression, actually breaks down, Maybe there's still orders still from this demand that needs to be collected. Price goes up a little bit more. Do something like this. If breaks it. Okay, if this actually happens, then maybe yes. But there is still some work for the variant to do before showing indication that actually wants to reverse. Okay, at least in a bigger turn. Like, don't be excited just because you see price doing some reaction from here. This may just be a reaction from there to just the next zone. We do have all these highs in here, so it can be just maybe something like this. And maybe if it is set up in a lower time frame, maybe there's actually a good sell in there. But manage your expectations towards trying to sell in here and expecting price to just go all the way down. Just manage your expectations on that aspect. That can help. Yeah, camp zone on USD card. Yeah, so this is our yen. USD card. Where is USD card? It's support zone 1 to 4. Second, just draw it like this. Yeah, easier to get there. So which level do you want to see? 1.24297. Yep, that could be right. Yeah, even watching this, paying attention to these walls being faked out, it would be nice to see these walls actually being respected for a moment before that final before the final fake out towards this level. This is actually an option. Where is this low reacting from? Yeah, it kind of reacts from a good zone. We do have already all these lows that were faked out. So yeah, this could definitely be one option to see price coming all the way down in here and reacting from this level. I will be paying attention on the lower time frame. Then when price actually approaches that zone, I'll be waiting for it. Yeah, I want to see how price is going to behave around these lows in here. If it's going to kind of pretend it's going to be hold. Let's see if we actually break some highs on the way down. Eventually we are going to may have that scenario. Maybe collect first this one, second go higher, and then now collect this left shoulder. That it's a major one. Something like this could be an option. Yeah, I like it. If we have proper price action around that, maybe start showing some breaks of structure in there. We can have some first lower time frame set up in there and to try to catch this level, and then maybe as price is building up, as the reversal setup, kind of way price moves in here, try to look for the opportunities to then join, not as a front runner but as a backhand, right? Try to join the move to the upside after the fake out is created. I'll try actually to catch the fake out. There's ways to do that in the lower time frame, but yeah, try to join in here, try to join in there, or even then in the future somewhere in there would be an option to look for the reverse if that is about to happen. Yeah, long way to get there yet. Still, maybe a couple of weeks. It depends how fast the card is actually about to move. Yeah, this could be definitely an option. I think I've covered almost all of them. What else is in there? Just a quick look at the crypto. Ethereum. Ethereum. Ethereum is close to the walls, right? We kind of have that spice that price is now reacting from. One thing that I'm not the biggest fan of looking for the sales in here, and this is why I also mentioned attention to where price is reacting from, is that this high actually respected quite nicely this level. If we did had the break of this high, it would be kind of a better confirmation that maybe I'll be looking for the longs in here. Because we didn't really broke this high, I want to see something else happening. We did still respected this kind of decision point in here that broke out this thing in here. So this one didn't really broke it either. Kind of, we broke these ones, but you didn't really broke that decision point in there. This is what I mean. This supply zone, it was not broken. We did have now this break to the upside. Respect straight away the next supply zone, and now we have kind of this range in here, right? Is price going to do this? Because this demand may haven't been touched yet, so final fake out. Now back to the range. Okay, and maybe that could be an option. Maybe if price can do something like that. We do have this demand zone in here. Let's see. For sure, everyone that trades crypto during the weekend is going to be paying attention to this. Going to be looking maybe for longs. Yeah, let's see what's going to happen, or shorts, right? Can kind of give opportunities for both scenarios, whatever buys you have. That's why I always like to look a little bit, zoom out a little bit, try to see where actually the extremes are reacting from. These ones are reacting from, just to give me a little bit of more of a bias. In terms of actually then what decision should I make within this level, right? Okay, yeah, I think that's going to conclude the live stream for today. I covered quite a few things. So dollar index, euro dollar, pound dollar, Aussie, even yen, dollar CAD, USD franc Swiss. Expecting a great week for next week as well. And yeah, so about the other stream that I do on Tuesday, that will be, as I've been mentioning, a little bit more of educational content. So if you have any charts that you want me to look at, any trades that you have taken and you would like some reviews, please share with them. Again, direct message on Twitter, Insta, Messenger on Facebook, or send me an email, pedro@pedrofx.com. And yeah, wishing everyone a great trade. Don't forget to subscribe and share this with everyone that you think that's maybe valuable. From the predictions I did last Tuesday, basically all of them almost worked, at least the zones for a moment. By a moment, I mean for a good amount of pips, it worked quite nicely. So yeah, keep following it, and I'll be sharing more and more content. Again, wishing everyone a great weekend and a great trading week for the week ahead. Thank you so much for joining the live stream. See you next time. Obrigado.